Hello and welcome to Licensing Basics Academy. Today we're going to talk about step number 2, the analysis. You're going to become the expert in your product category. So let's get started. So once you have your product idea or concept, you're going to want to search and see if there is anything else that is similar to your product that exists in the marketplace. One of the best ways to do that is through a Google image search. So you can simply go to Google, click on images, and then put in your keywords that pertain to your specific product. And it's going to populate into a whole bunch of images. You want to scroll through these images and look for any product that has similarities to yours. So here's Google Images. In this case, we typed in hairbrush. We're searching the keywords that relate to the product that we're looking for to find similar products. So as you can see, there's many different hairbrush products. So if I had a hairbrush idea, like for example, in step number 1, when I showed my hairbrush that is also a mirror and a hairspray, this is what I would do. I would type in all sorts of keywords that pertain to that specific product, and I would start searching. Second thing I would do is I would do a patent search. Now, there's a few different ways of doing patent searching, and you can get pretty involved in patent searching. It can take a long time for a truly thorough patent search. But here's some of the ways of doing it. So number 1, you could go to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office in Arlington, Virginia, and search in person for patents that are similar to yours. That's the first. Most people are not able to do that unless you live in Virginia. Second is you can search the Patent and Trademark Resource Center. They're called PTRCs at libraries around the country with specific librarians that have specialized librarians to help with patent research. So you can get onto the USPTO website and you can find out where these resource centers are, and if there's one in your area, then you can go to that and you can get help from the librarians. Third, you can search the US Patent Office online. It's not as 100% thorough as doing an in-person search. The online search, the USPTO site, is another solid option if you cannot get to Arlington nor to any of the nationwide resource centers. And fourth, you can do a Google. So Google has their patent search engine that you can do. It tends to be a little bit lagged on information. So it's about from what I've heard, it's typically about 6 months behind. But it is very easy to use. So if you're looking for just a quick general search, then Google Patents is a great place to go, and it's very user-friendly. And 5, you can always hire a patent legal expert to do your research. You're probably going to spend $500, $1,000. Just depends. There's every company charges a different amount. But you can actually hire someone that specializes in patent searches. So those are the options when it comes down to patent searching. So next, you're going to want to find all the potential licensees that you would want to license your product to. You're going to search for the retailers that sell the products similar to your invention. Now, using Wikipedia and Google is a great way to do this. So in this first example, what we're going to do is we're going to go into Google and we're going to type in list of hardware retailers, and then we're going to type in Wikipedia. So hopefully it'll pull up this hardware store Wikipedia or categories. It'll pull up something that has to do with a list of retailers. So here's what we found. We found a list of retailers on Wikipedia, and this is a whole big list of a bunch of retailers that sell hardware products. Okay. Now, just to be clear, the retailers are not who our licensees are. Okay, but it's a good place to start this process of finding the licensees. So now that we've found and we have a list of a bunch of the retailers, next we're going to want to find out specifically what brands, brand of companies that sell similar products to ours. You know, basically the manufacturer, the brand. So, for example, you know, Walmart doesn't sell their own hairbrush. They could have a private label, but mainly they're not the brand for a hairbrush. So you're not going to be calling Walmart to try to get your product licensed from them. So let me show you some examples of how this would work. You can go on to, like I said, any of these retailers, and you can go to their website, so their e-commerce website. I picked Amazon because Amazon is probably the largest, and it's usually the place I start. You can also go to walmart.com, target.com. Basically, any retailer's website, you're going to be able to do the same exact search that I'm going to show you right now. So we go into Amazon, and we type in the product name or category. In this case, we're going to type in hairbrush. What we're going to find is we're going to have a whole list of hairbrushes for sale, and on the left-hand side, there's a way to filter the search down, and what we're going to want to do is scroll down until we see the word brand. Now what this is doing is it's giving us the ability to filter the search out by a brand. And once we find that word brand, we can look at all the companies, or excuse me, the brands that sell hairbrushes on Amazon. That is the start to our potential licensee list. We're going to write down all those company/brand names: Conair, Wet Brush, Revlon. So those are our potential licensees. So obviously, if you click the See More button, it gives you a much larger list. So you can write down all these brand names. The next step to our list is to get a more defined, detailed information about these brands. So we want their typically their contact phone number, and that is going to be their corporate phone number. And there's a few different ways of doing that. Obviously, we can go to their website and we can search for it and see if they have their corporate number. A lot of times it's their customer service number, so it's not the ideal number for us. However, a customer service number will work, but it might take a few times of getting transferred. So in order to find their corporate number, what we can do is we can go to a business directories website. And so I've listed 4 of them, 4 of the ones that are the most popular ones that I like to use. Manta, ZoomInfo, Bloomberg, and BuzzFile. My favorite one's probably ZoomInfo, but Manta is probably my second. So what I would do is I would, and you have to, some of these websites you have to pay for. So in order to do it for free, go into Google and type in the brand name that you're trying to search, and then space, and then you type in one of the directory's names. So in this case, ZoomInfo, or you would instead of ZoomInfo, you might put Manta, Bloomberg, or BuzzFile. So anyways, click enter, and it's going to take you to a results page, and you're going to look for the company or brand name slash, in this case, ZoomInfo. So we found it right there in red, and we're going to click on that link, and it'll take us to the specific directory listing for that company. So here we find the ZoomInfo link for Revlon. You're going to want to write down the company name, the corporate phone number, into your pitch list spreadsheet. Okay, this is going to be your list of companies that you're going to be pitching to when the time comes. This is also great if you are not sure how big a company is. So maybe you don't recognize the company name, and you're not sure if they're big enough to support a licensing deal. And so Revlon obviously is huge. You can see their estimated annual revenue is $2.3 billion a year. Their employees, 7,300. So you get some pretty cool information by doing these searches. Now, how much revenue? I get the question a lot, is what qualifies a company to license a product? So what I say to that is usually, obviously you got to call the company and find out if they even do licensing, and we'll get to that in a second. But if a company's doing, say, $100,000 a year, and they've got 50 products, they probably are not going to be a good candidate for you in licensing your product. because they probably don't have much distribution. Now, however, if a company is doing, say, $1 million a year and they only have a couple products, then they might be okay. Mainly you want a company that is established, that has deep enough pockets to be able to produce and get your product out there. The big thing, though, is their distribution. And that's something you can't tell from a specific search, but you obviously want a company with great distribution, because if you license your product to that company, your product is going to be potentially distributed to wherever they distribute. So if they distribute to 10 stores, well, then your product's only going to be in 10 stores. If they distribute to 10,000 stores, then great, your product is probably going to be in 10,000 stores. So distribution is very important when it comes to licensing. That concludes step number 2. Coming up next, we're doing step 3, which is the development stage. You're going to learn how to take your new product idea and develop it into an actual product. Thanks for watching.